Welcome everyone, it's Jaws Munch here, and today we're going to be doing an update video. Now, bear with me because I just recently found all of the update logs, and there are a ton of things that we have to address here. So it's going to be a rather long video, and I'm going to be trying to go over most of the more important things, and then we will go from there. This is going to be going from most recent to latest. The entirety of the Legion T1 Air Lab has been remodeled, including the T1 constructor aircraft, the Noctura, a fighter, the Mosquito, a gunship, the Martyr, a bomber, the Blindfold, the Juno bomber scout, and also the Elois, the air transport, replacing the Cortex placeholder. The Elois is slightly tougher and more expensive and slightly slower than its counterpart to reflect the new model. Legion hovercraft also got an update. The Legion now have their own hovercraft plant with 4 new hovercrafts. The models and scripts were made by Enderob. The Glacus fills the role of the hover scout and has a reduced cost and speed compared to other hover scouts. The Nereus is a hovercraft tank with a lower cost and higher speed than other hovercraft tanks and has a double cannon, but it also has reduced health. They also have the Salacia, which is a hovercraft rocket tank. Then we also have the Alpheus, which is the hovercraft anti-air tank that has a AA minigun instead of the standard missile. It is yet to be determined whether or not these are better than other hovercraft. There still needs to be a lot of testing, in my opinion, before we find out. Another update was the Legion T1 static AA turret. It has been replaced and now has a new model with it. Originally, the Cortex Thistle was a replacement for the Legion Bramble, which is its current new anti-air turret. It is a light anti-air missile turret, functionally the same as the Cortex Thistle and the Armada Nettle, so no difference really there. As you can see, there will be a lot of updates to the Legion. They had a lot of model reworks and a lot of turrets being added, so that's very exciting to see. The Cortex SAM has been replaced by the Legion Rapsis. This is the advanced T1 anti-air missile salvo battery, which is the same for Legion and Armada. The Armada has the anti-bombing missile battery, and Legion has the SAM missile battery. It is great for taking out bombers, but not so much fighters and scout plane swarms. It is designed to complement the Lepara. The Lepara is essentially a flat cannon whose role is inverse to the Rapis. So just think of it like the chain gun and the bomb resistant missile that you can build for Armada. It's essentially the same thing, but for Legion, and they follow very similar patterns in their roles. The Legion Cacophony has been remodeled as well. Apparently it used to have the Razorback arms, but now it is different. There was an update making all commanders uncapturable, including the decoy commanders, which I was not aware of personally. There's been a big change to the Raptor Queens. They are no longer able to be degunned. They updated the Cortex Commander's C laser range. It now is the exact same as Armada. It, however, also has reduced damage to compensate because apparently the shields block torpedoes for the Cortex Commander. There's been a rebalancing of Cortex shields, and there's been a rebalancing of all Commander C weapons. So if you play C a lot, maybe you've noticed a slight difference in that. The original DPS values were based on land confrontations. C units generally have less DPS and less health than other land units for the metal, so the commanders were just mopping the floor with them. It's now far more reasonable. Keep in mind, the last couple things I have been mentioning are for the Raptors game mode, so don't consider that when playing a standard 8v8. Continuing on, the nano turrets are now a build option for the Legion commander as well, and the Armada commander can shoot while cloaked. Also, another update, this is not for Raptors, but this is a standard play update. The Legion got a pop-up turret now, so it's pretty cool. Check it out. We already mentioned that Legion got a heavy anti-air missile as well. Legion got a control plasma artillery, the actuator, which is pretty cool. And recently there was also an update to the Whistler Lasher that's in the proposed unit reworks. This will make the missile trucks for Armada and Cortex have less range. They also fixed some targeting issues where the units would get stuck targeting units that were out of its range. The Legion had a balance adjustment to the ballista. Reload increased slightly. For those who don't know, the ballista is the rocket bot for Legion. The Bastion reload increased from 5 seconds to 5.5 to make its DPS more reasonable. The Starfall cost increased 10%. Health reduced 20%. This is to balance the fact that it can be built in a safer location than the ARM and core equivalents. There's now a mine layer for the Legion vehicle bay, which is pretty cool. Arlaris got a cost increase from 50 metal to 60 metal. The Triton's health increased from 3,000 to 3,500. The advanced solar energy required to build and build time both got increased. This makes them a bit more balanced compared to Cortex and Armada. Legion got an added radar and radar jamming tower. Legion also has a heat ray tower added. This is just the standard light laser tower. There's also now a new game mode that you can add to your games with unbalanced commanders, and let me tell you, they are very unbalanced. Armada commander was super OP last time I used them, so just be wary of that. The Lich also had an update that needs to be talked about. The Lich weapon was originally coded as a missile, not a bomber, to allow for this to set targets functionally, but there was an issue with the diving that caused them to damage each other when they shot their missiles. So they essentially just removed the dive function to the Leech, and now it is able to drop its bomb like a normal bomber and fly off with no issues. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to all these updates that they did have over the past 2 months. I know I didn't even hit close to all of them, but these are just some of the more recent ones, and then also the Lich, which I wanted to show for you guys because it's an important unit that got a decent update. It was essentially a buff for the unit, so there you guys have it, and thanks for watching to the end, and I will see you guys on the battlefield.